Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. Today is March 2nd. Hopefully, your weekend is going well, whether it's rainy like it is here for me, or sunny, cold, or warm. I hope that you are doing what you want to do on this day, in this moment in time. All right, I'm cutting the deck a little bit, but I'm feeling guided to do something that I was doing while I was shuffling. Well, it's nothing foreign to me, but I've never done it on camera, on this channel anyway. And that is just kind of channel from cutting the deck a little bit before I shuffle a few cards, you know, if I even get guided that way, because there were just some messages that were coming through as I was cutting the deck a little, and I want to see if that energy persists, you know. So rock with me for a second. Let's see what comes out, and when I feel guided to stop, then we'll go ahead and see if the spirit moves to shuffle a few cards out on the table. Okay, let's see what's on the top first. Okay, so we have some collaborative effort here. It's either collaboration or collusion. Those are the two options with the Three of Pentacles. For the purposes of prestige with the King of Cups, with the King of Pentacles, for some collusion or collaboration for advancement or promotion. As a matter of fact, the Three of Pentacles sometimes can be work. We got the Two of Cups. Yeah, that's the partnership or some agreement or contract. So there may be even competition I'm feeling for a particular contract, or a contract that would invoke some spirit of competition or conflict, I feel, is what I'm sensing. Yeah, with the Five of Pentacles, it's high risk. That's what I'm getting, a high risk contract that obviously I would say either didn't pan out too well, or it had a high risk of failure. You know, the stakes were very high. And then we have the Emperor here. What's the Emperor giving me? That's some power play. Okay, someone that took liberty, like interjected their power and influence with the Six of Pentacles here over what would have been, like someone took a dominant role in what more or less could have been or should have been an equal playing field, and interjected their power, maybe threw their weight around to take liberty over the proceeds or over the profit of whatever this corroboration / collusion or collaboration was. Somebody took a little bit more off the top, that's what I'm getting, than what was slated for them to do so, or what was agreed upon. Yeah, and there's imbalance on account of it. I'm not sure if this is the perpetrator who's now, you know, probably so, that somebody now with that Nine of Swords is regretful of the liberties that they took, because it's given like, if it would have been played safely, there might have been more of a chance for whatever the objective, or, you know, whatever this is, this agreement, it would have been more of a likelihood that it would have run smoothly. But it seems to me, I get the sense that greed took over, at least for one person in particular, if not for all. Maybe it became more of a competition. I did say that, didn't I? Like a competition for everyone trying to kind of one up the other and get the upper hand, or take the greater cut, or have the power play or the big move, you know, like to kind of just put the others under their thumb to the point where everybody was, it was like a thumb war, you know what I mean? And ultimately it all falls down because that's no, as I said, that's no collaboration at all. And corroboration or collusion ultimately does fall to, you know, does often fall short and would leave people disappointed or in dismay on account of the return for whatever the intentions or motivations that were sown into it in the first place. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, now it's like a matter of trying to regain balance, maybe trying to it's really given that people are so thrown off balance personally that they're people, whomever was in this connection one way or another, they're trying to pick up the pieces of what they're trying to like manage what's left of it all, if that makes sense. It's like there's some imbalance here and instability to the point where everybody, what I'm trying to say is like everybody's kind of preoccupied with how to steady themselves on account of whatever has fallen apart, that they don't really have, it's like self-consumption now. Everybody's consumed with their own problems, you know, trying to fend for themselves, trying to rebalance themselves, protect themselves, maybe manage what losses, you know, really manage the losses that have been incurred on account of this whole ordeal. Energetically with the Pentacle energy, that's definitely a matter of, yeah, managing lost time, because a lot of energy and time was probably put into this, was probably invested in this for there to be much less to come out on the other side. Yeah, and it's more of a burden now with the Six of Wands, a lot of stress in that management, you know, if it's quite practical, you know, the whole rob Peter to pay Paul type of energy definitely would be pressure driven and you know, just making things harder than they need to be, or harder than they should have been if having taken a different approach to whatever this is that we're talking about. Maybe I need to stop here and maybe try to figure out. Then we got the Queen of Swords, which is about decisiveness and objectivity and openness to the Wheel of Fortune. To the Wheel of Fortune, hold on. Oh, so people are trying to figure out a way to work around their fortune at this time, like their karma, their outcome, like the Queen of Swords is present because it's like you can't deny it. It has to be, you couldn't get around it with the Wheel of Fortune, the outcome as it is. It has to be acknowledged. However, the acceptance piece is the struggle. So people are going back to the drawing board to figure out how they can work their way around having to incur the full brunt of whatever this outcome may be, particularly the unfavorable aspects of it. Oh, shoot. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles is still on the bottom. And yeah, there's the plan to do so with the Two of Wands, trying to see it from a broader perspective. But, yeah, but for a new beginning, but it feels like with the Fool card, it feels like it's an uninformed new beginning. still, even with that Eight of Pentacles, trying to go back to the drawing board to do what is known to do. You know, like how the start over is not a matter of literally trying new things altogether. It's going back and redoing things the way that you know how to, when in this case, it's probably a call for a clean slate overall, to really take a completely fresh, like ground zero leap of faith into something that you've never done before, because it's not really, up until this point, proven to be the long-term move of prosperity. And this is reproductive prosperity at that. And we saw the King of Pentacles come out as well. Let me see. Queen of Pentacles. And here is that message, the Page of Pentacles. The message is good news. It's an offer, or it's a message about, let me see, because it's like, to the Queen of Pentacles, though, it would seem small. And maybe that's the thing, is that somebody's not, let me see. Yeah, I was just about to say it. Somebody's not willing to accept that as a viable offer because of the size of it, whether it be actually money or, you know, an alternative way to go about things to really solidify some reproductive prosperity, to put yourself in a position to work smarter and not as hard as, say, the Eight of Pentacles. It's like somebody's only willing to go back to what they know and try to recreate that outcome all over again, instead of taking that new, fresh, objective with the Page of Pentacles that may be a bit foreign, because, or even maybe minimal from what you're used to working with at such stages as what would be the Queen of Pentacles, but also not willing to realize their present state of being is not in the fertility of the Queen of Pentacles as she is. They're not in the best position to produce it in that magnitude, because they're still recovering from the losses that they've incurred on account of poor decisions that have been made. So it's like a skew of perspective here, maybe a bit of delusion, or just plainly just unwillingness to be present with what is, like not accepting reality as it is. And being resistant to what may be unfavorable or unsavory choices, options, unsavory options. Yeah, somebody's looking at, with that Four of Cups, somebody's looking like, I don't want that, I want that over there. But that over there is not an option anymore. You know, even if it was in the past, it's not now. So would you be willing to take what is available and do the best do the best with it, do the best that you can with it? Or are you going to sit there and be resistant with your arms crossed and just pretty much stay stuck in one position? There is no productivity in that, for sure. So it's like somebody's not willing to accept, yeah, like, all right, this is the point that you're at, that zero position with the Fool card. That's why I said it's like, it's not a leap of faith into some adventure or into the unknown willingly. It's someone that just keeps wanting to do the same thing and expect a different result. And the universe response to that is delays and setbacks. And like I said, somebody's still sitting there with that one pentacle that they got from the page, wondering why things may be not going anywhere, or that they're moving extremely slow, and then being so frustrated with the rate of motion or advancement on account of what perhaps has probably worked quite quickly before, or much more reliably before, that the Four of Cups is the responsive energy, because they're working off of memory, off of past experience, instead of working off of present possibility. So in essence, it goes nowhere. Yeah. And this is definitely limitations. Yeah, somebody's just not willing to see beyond their obsessions. And that could be a great range of many things depending on what we're thinking. I mean, it seems to me it would be definitely connected to whatever it was that drove the motivation of the collusion, the collaboration, the co-creation in the first place. Whatever that motivation was, whether it was to be the King of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles, which makes sense, especially with the Devil card and this being masculine and feminine in bondage here. They're having a hard time seeing past their obsessions to accept new possibilities or new ways of being or healing. There's like an extreme limitedness here, mentally and psychologically. Maybe even some demonic possession on account of obsession at this point. Yeah. Three of Swords. Brokenheartedness, fear. It's toxic. That's what it is. That relationship, from the very onset of this, from the Three of Pentacles, the ambition that was driving this co-creative force has been toxic and ill-willed from the jump. Hence why it hasn't been exceedingly successful, even if it was for a time. Hence why it's been dismantled or stopped, or at least delayed from continued success, and why it seems to be prohibited or limited in some way from advancing any further at this point. And it's because it's a toxic connection, a toxic cycle. Everything about it is toxic. There's nothing particularly productive about it, as I kind of felt in the beginning anyway. Yeah, there's new direction that needs to be taken. That it's a call for new direction, because otherwise, it's either going to continue to lead back to this place of the Ten of Swords, sabotage, betrayal, something quite I want to say traumatizing is the word I keep hearing, but it's like more. It's more than that. With the Ten of Swords, it's like these very traumatic endings that keep occurring. But it's what I'm getting is that for as long as this connection is insisted upon between one or either parties, or any parties, because it could be a three-party situation with the Three of Pentacles. It could even be more. But as long as there is an insistence to keep this connection afloat, as long as everything that is produced of it and from it will have some type of like, what is this? Like tragic, that's the word, tragic, not traumatic, like tragic endings. A series of unfortunate events is what I hear. That's the fate, the wheel of fortune of this partnership, this corroboration, this collusion, no matter what form it takes, no matter what, I'm just hearing like no matter what energies are switched in or switched out, or as long as the core of the motivation is what it's always been connected to, which is that devil energy, that obsession for possession, whatever that may be, is as long as the ultimate ending or outcome will continue to be tragic. It's never going to not be that. It's not, that's hence why I'm saying like someone that keeps trying to go back to the drawing board and like tweak this, tweak that, add this, like almost like it's a game, like add this member to the team, take this guy out, put him on the bench, bring this one in, change the coach, it's like no matter what you do, as long as the objective is the same, you're still playing for the same goal, with the same goal in mind, it's still going to have the same losing ending with the Ten of Swords. So let's see what else we got. Yep. That is the wounded warrior, and somebody is just pretty much digging themselves into a deeper hole of distress for as long as they refuse to look toward the future and leave the past behind. Emperor. This is somebody that thinks they're still the emperor. They think they got it all under control, and it's a delusion. It's an imbalance. Like somebody is off their rocker a little bit. That's what it's given. Like with the Nine of Wands being like in mental imbalance or even energetic imbalance, somebody thinks they still have control over the situation. Like it's all in their head, pretty much at this point. The delusions of grandeur, that's what this is. They think that they still have access to, or that the company even that they're keeping is still this like happy family, soul family. They got control over everybody that's in the crew. They're still on target for this Ten of Cups wish fulfillment experience, where everything that they have been putting in work for is about to come to life, like for a happy ending. Somebody still thinks that there is a happy ending in sight on account of, this is still at the bottom, that's crazy, on account of this collusion. Maybe if I come up a little better. I was just gonna say too, I swear you probably don't believe me, but in my spirit I was hearing with that Three of Pentacles still being there, like they don't even know who they working with. It's like somebody is not even aware that they are either working with the enemy or sleeping with the enemy, or they're not willing to accept it. it's like, nah, couldn't be. Or even if they see any evidence of it, it could be a range of this. They don't know it, they don't accept it, or what evidence that they see, they're like, what's the right word? Like stubborn against it, like nah. Or they feel like they can still maneuver around it. Almost to the point where it's like, well, if I can, shoot, they might even feel like desperate enough to feel like they have to put themselves in harm's way, or continue to create with this, I don't even know what you call it, this tribe or whatever it is, because they don't have any other choice to get the work done or get the objective that they're wanting to get. At this point, it's like, well, they got to make the most with what they have, make the best of what they have, knowing that all the energy is against them, and that they're not in a safe, secure position with the activities that they're participating in. This is somebody like, it's like it's given like like a I keep wanting to say like a crime family or mob family or something like that, where there are rules and there is a creed, so to speak, but where you can never really feel too safe because of the nature of the work that you are committing yourself to. Like, you're kind of always in harm's way, whether it's by what you physically do with the Seven of Wands, or by the associations that you are connected with. But somebody feeling like it's a necessary means to an end, or they're so intertwined in whatever the situation is. This could be the head honcho himself to some degree, like they're so intertwined in it, indebted maybe even perhaps to it, which makes sense given the nature of the cards from the splits, that they feel like they have to pay what's owed, or fulfill their debt to this society of sorts, even as they're endangered while doing so. But they would be endangered if not to do so, if that makes sense. It's given that as well. And it's like, yeah, we all one big family, you know what I mean? Like, it's a, C and B, we all we got type of energy, but really no one's safe, especially if you're not working in accordance with what is good overall for all. Like, if you're not adding value to whatever the objective is, or the establishment itself, then maybe somebody feels endangered because their value has depreciated, maybe on account of what they haven't been able to deliver on, or just the depreciation of their value even in presence at this point. Like, what are you bringing to the table? Somebody feels like somebody's bringing more liability than assets at this point. I see this now. Somebody is more of a liability than an asset. They once upon a time were bringing 10 of Cups to the table in some way, shape, or form. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. They were bringing souls to the table. That's what's in those cups. That's why the devil was showing up in the splits, because they were bringing souls to be sacrificed to whatever this situation is. And they've been falling short on their obligations. That was the halting, that they're not that standstill. And then the Four of Cups, it's all coming through now. Damn. The return is not happening. So therefore they're coming back empty-handed or not at all, which means they're in a great debt to this society now on account of either what they've owed based on a contractual obligation, there's the Two of Cups, or what they offered themselves up to be able to produce. Either way, they're not making good on that expectation. And so now they're in jeopardy. Damn, there it is. There it is. And maybe it could be a hit out on somebody. Now that I'm thinking about it, somebody could have got, there could have been a message sent as to why that's the Nine of Wands. They're like a warning shot. Maybe somebody actually got beat up, you know, as like a warning or to send a message. And now that's why they're having to protect themselves. But the next course of action is an actual hit. I heard excommunicado. Oh, somebody might be excommunicated. Oh, man. From whatever this organization is. So it's like now they're not protected by it and the sanctity of it. And there's, I mean, certainly not protected outside of it, is particularly if those that they were once in collaboration with are now pursuing, you know, some type of compensation, whether it be energetically speaking, materially speaking, or spiritually speaking, meaning now their soul is on the line. But there's some debt to be paid here. Strength card. Ooh, I just heard female assassin. That's what I see in that strength card. Ooh, hold on. A spiritual assassin. The energies that are coming up for me right now, I know y'all probably looking at these cards like, really? From the Strength and the Queen of Cups? And even the Ten of Cups. I never read the Ten of Cups like that. But that Ten of Cups ain't come out. It came out like a facade of wish fulfillment. It didn't really come up like the real thing. Like something's behind that curtain. And the Queen of Cups is given like some type of spiritual assassin, like maybe a witch or a priestess, particularly. I mean, it could be of a dark nature, maybe not, but let me see. I don't see how it could be anything else with this vibration, though. If they wouldn't slip so much, it'd be a wonderful shuffle, but the slip is just hard to control. reverse. I think this one did. It came out reverse, so I'm going to take it like that. And this one. Six of Cups in reverse. That is... Ooh. I'm getting so many things off of that. It's like... It feels like somebody that presented themselves to be a familiar spirit, or that's their cloak as a familiar spirit. So that's back to what I said, that somebody is sleeping with the enemy. That's what it is. Somebody that is either close to them now or was close to them is the assassin, is the one at least that's been assigned to bring some ending. Don't forget, we ended with the Ten of Swords. And that's the cycle. So it's like, damn, that's some real raw stuff. Somebody that is in his life currently is stationed there, or that has access, intimate access to his life, is stationed there to pretty much enact a cycle of sabotage. And that's how he's being sacrificed. So it's like what he thinks he's fighting against and protecting himself against, he really doesn't, he's not even able to really truly see. Like, this is him wanting to have a plan of action either outside of this of the line of attack or in another direction. But there's something that's it's probably more spiritual and mystical that's been enacted to keep him on this loop of sabotage, particularly in relationships. So even if it's not, ooh, this is deep. This is a witch. This is a witch right here. I can't even give her, I can't say high priestess, because a high priestess wouldn't do this to someone. I don't care what you think the justice may be or where the order came from. There wouldn't even be such an order from any high place that would cause you to do this. The only other thing I could say is that this is just this person's, this is their karma or whatever, but it's given that there's some type of energy that's been projected more or less mystically so. Or it could even be a physical interference, where someone has been sent to someone to be a so-called companion or is in the guise of companionship, but they're really like a, what do you call it, a femme fatale? That they're positioned with the intention of causing destruction, like a Jezebel type of situation, to simply put. That's the encounter that someone is on the trajectory to attract over and over again, so much so that what they think that they're in danger of is not even that, because it's something far more innocent looking or seeming than what they clearly have the discernment to see, or at least then they have the ability to unentangle themselves with at this point in time. there's some attachment here. Remember, the devil card is the masculine and feminine. Maybe the attachment may be to this feminine energy where they're entangled in such a way, maybe both indebted to this society, but where it is she should be the one to be his helpmate to be able to get them both out of it, or she's presented herself to be that, or he thinks that she would be the only person that could be that. She actually is working more in favor of prolonging the entanglement and continuing to delay any success or forward movement. And I get the sense that whether it works for her advantage or not, like that's just the role that she is karmically designed to play. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune came up too. This is karmic. So it's like she could do this for absolutely nothing but pure entertainment purposes and pleasure in one regard, or she could actually be getting paid or be buying her way out of trouble on account of playing this role against whomever this is who's clearly the intended target, or at least that's what's been established. Hell, she could have sacrificed him as the target in place of the both of them. Get it right here, to save herself. You know, it's something real dark going on here. It's dark. Let me get a few more and I'm out. It's like, woo, boy, oh boy. What did we step into on today? That's crazy. You know why? Because it's like they got him paranoid, running for his life, like I said, thinking he's protecting himself from one thing, or having to fulfill some obligation, or to satisfy whatever debt this is. But really, that is the point of the sacrifice, to keep him so entangled and indebted to this society that he feels like he can't be released from it. That's the illusion, but also the so-called punishment, really, the real point of sacrifice is what he's been connected to, that is going to ensure that his energy continues to get siphoned by way of sacrifice, by way of sabotage and betrayal over and over and over again. Like it's like a continuous sacrificial lamb is what he's becoming. And he would be the only one that would have the power to release himself, because the energies that he surrounded himself with, nobody's going to free him. He could pay the debt 10 times over and there would still be some way to rope him in. He could break up with this energy and there's still some, like her tentacles are still in him spiritually somehow, some way. Maybe with the psychological imbalance itself, that it's like something attached to him by way probably of her being some type of incubus spirit, or what do you call it, succubus spirit at this point, that has taken residence in his being, so that she doesn't even have to be present really for this psychosis of sorts to be active in his life, or in his world, really more so in his reality. That's what it really is. Remember, didn't I say something about somebody was delusional or something? Yeah, at the very top. That's the crazy part of it, is like whatever possession that he has opened himself up to on account of this association has taken such a deep root that there doesn't even need to be physical presence anymore for it to continue to have effect, which is why that Four of Cups energy is so pivotal, because what he's really rejecting is spiritual influence, nourishment, that Ace of Cups, that healing aspect, that, you know, unconditional love from source, that would be the only thing that could help to kind of nurse him back to reality, or back to any point of sanity, to find his way to true security. Because otherwise, like I said, he's still going to be indebted no matter how much he tries to pay off, and he's still going to be entangled even when it appears that he's not. Every time he even thinks he's going to move on to something new, it's like that old energy, maybe even physically so. Maybe she's the type of woman that as soon as he gets into a new relationship, here she go popping up, causing trouble again. It could be very practical and actual that way, but I'm sensing something even more diabolical and just downright demonic. That whatever he's connected to, that she's been some type of host for, or some type of what they call that when you're a carrier. Ooh, I just got chills when I said that too. She's carrying some type of demonic energy that has been passed through his wand on account of connection, or just passed through energies, because you don't even have to sleep with somebody to really pick up their spiritually transmitted demons, you know, like, or diseases. You don't have to sleep with them. You could just be in close, intimate proximity, and you can become infected. And that's what I feel has happened here. Look at his head all bandaged up. This man needs help and healing fast, and he is not on the path to it, and that's why I was saying, like, somebody keeps going back to the drawing board, doing the same thing. That Fool's energy. That Fool is him being possessed, like almost not having control over his body. It's like something else is possessing him, even in the ways where he might try to dust himself off and do something different. His energetic signature is so demonically diluted at this point that it just keeps on attracting that same frequency right to him and leading down that same path. It's like the toxic cycle of that Three of Swords, over and over again. Trauma, over and over again, leading right back to, it's like a really bad dream. It's like a really bad dream. Yeah, we had the Nine of Swords too, and some of those breakouts, those splits. The Nine of Swords, where it's like, oof, it's crazy. Here's ancestral guidance, trying to lead somebody out to another path, but somebody is like in too deep. Or it might, shoot, I just heard ancestors heading out, like, I'm gonna head on out. Like, they can't even do nothing with it at this point. Because it can go down like that if you align yourself with frequencies that they can't survive in, they can't thrive and match up, let alone actually transmit through. It's like you on your own, bruh. They sitting on the bench watching in dismay. If you're lucky, if they even watching anymore. Wow, here's the King of Cups. Yeah. Yep. And at one point in time, they were on the same page. They were on the same wavelength. But it's given that, unbeknownst to him, he was more of whereas they were supposed to be equals in this practice, whatever it was, he was getting more worked on than he was putting in work. That's what is given to me. And as I said, Hermit card is leading in this direction, where the King of Cups is still kind of sort of facing in inward to the Queen of Cups, even though he's a bit demoted. So this is somebody that probably that's another way to keep his energy contained, is by psychologically attacking him, making him feel less than, probably literally emasculating him as the King of Cups, who would naturally be more in his feminine energy in that suit anyway. This is somebody that takes advantage of that and also uses it as a weapon against him. Woo! Yeah, look, literally overpowers him with the strength card over top, like completely strips his manhood at every chance she gets, or did. And that's part of the psychological trauma and bruise, because like I said, even when she ain't there or they're not actively engaged in relationship, the stain of those impressions still lingers. The residue is still doing the work to keep him captive and keep him like primed at a certain frequency to attract more of the same. This Six of Cups in reverse is quite disturbing. It's a disturbing connection between two people. Probably that's the abusive aspect of it. Yep, that's what that is. And somebody using the most vulnerable aspects of you to abuse you at that. Like with no chill. That could be embarrassing him in public. That could be like literally in public, like in front of company or in front of strangers or just out and about. Or that could be blasting. I just heard revenge porn. I don't even know why I'm picking up on that. But it could be blasting his most intimate moments to audiences that shouldn't be privy to them. Sharing his secrets, that's definitely one. Like no filter whatsoever. And knowing a whole hell of a lot, because it's the Queen of Cups. She's privy to deep, dark information and intel. Yep, and manipulating them with it. So not only holding it over his head, so that might be the thing that's keeping them together, is what she has to hold over his head to like blackmail him with. And she can slip in and out when she feels like it, and probably does. That's probably why I keep picking up where sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. Because she knows that it doesn't matter, because she still holds the upper hand. Wow. And he ain't gonna do but he ain't gonna go but so far or do but too much, as long as she's in control and as long as she holds the cards that she holds. She's too privy to some intimate secrets, or even just the matter of this collaboration or the association that they share in the first place, for him to feel safe to truly disconnect, like indefinitely. I feel like this isn't straight, it's driving me crazy. It probably isn't, so forgive me. It feels a little wobbly. All right, one more. There's the Five of Wands. I don't need to say anymore. That's the competition, the chaos, confusion, the fighting. They probably physically fight. Yo, this is wild. One more, Spirit. Yep. Power struggles. And I said that earlier, like, who can be the most powerful? That's what this is all about. Everybody's been fighting for some supreme power. And really to hold over one another, but certainly to then be somehow exalted for whatever reason as the most powerful, the supreme force of all, as if that even exists. It's like the delusion is real in this dynamic. Everybody's fighting for some power. It's some power dynamic, some ego-driven exchange here, either for one particular position, or like one actual position, or just for the influence of that force to be the one to hold all the cards over everyone, which is virtually impossible. You know, that's why I was saying it's like it's this dynamic of so-called family or whatever this is, but it's really not that, because everybody's fighting to one-up each other or overpower or gain control. Control, thank you, Spirit. It's control even more than power. It's control. Instead of controlling their damn selves, having some self-control with the Strength card, it's like this is a dynamic of whatever they are. It could be a mix of all types of energies that come together collectively to be, you know, it's like maybe everybody does something different, but for the most part, depending on whatever uniqueness they bring to the table, it's like they use it as leverage to want to gain control over the, what is it? To gain like control over the influence of the trajectory of the whole, if that makes sense. It's like they use whatever power that they bring to the table as some point of leverage to try to gain the control over all. Like, well, I do this, so therefore, you know, it's like, but it's very covert though, for the most part. Maybe it's become more overt. Maybe they're all fighting against one another now because it's just kind of come to a head, literally, with the Ace of Wands. But whatever it is, it's no wonder that it's starting. It has, because through those splits, we did see that things have kind of come to a standstill, and people are having to kind of, it's like every man for himself right now. They're having to fend for themselves, maybe even protect themselves from whatever this ridiculousness has amounted to, or pick up the pieces from what's been lost on account of all the insular fighting, like nobody really being on one accord. Maybe if they had come together, colluded more creatively than aggressively, then things might have continued on to this path of the Ten of Cups. But because egos got in the way, it ultimately self-destructed, is what it seems like to me, or it's on the way to, one way or another. Yeah, six of Wands here, and the Queen of Swords again. Oh. What did I say about the Queen of Swords? That was about decision making. Oh, there being a call to make some new decisions, to look in a different direction, but there being more or less like a recognition of that, but a lack of acceptance for it. I'm getting that, you know what I hear? This one, she's about to be her own demise. That's what I get. It's like the impression, the internal impression from whomever this energy is that she is supremely victorious at what she does. All that I spoke of before, and keeping someone trapped and entangled and all that. So these are other victims in her wake, is what I'm getting as well. But I'm also getting that someone, I see it as she being her own worst enemy, like she's going to be her own demise, because this energy is what came up earlier as to someone that just refuses to see. They see that something's not working, but they refuse to accept that there's something different that needs to be done because they're used to doing it a certain way over and over. And that mentality is what ultimately, this is what's going to stop the trajectory of triumph that she thinks she's marching into, on account of what she's been able to accomplish here over and over again, and what she has the intention to continue to do, because that's just what comes most natural to her, or what is most successful for her. She's either going to be stopped by a higher power that is honorable and truthful, to be able to have, the integrity or the credibility in spirit and in truth to do so. But I really, like, my first instinct was her being stopped in her own tracks, like finally meeting her match, but the match really being her meeting herself along the path, because she wouldn't heed the call to stop or to do something different. That's what I feel. Is there anything I can draw from that? Yeah, because this is her thinking she got away with that Ace of Wands here, that everybody's fighting for. It's like, ha ha, I got it. Peace out, y'all. And then somewhere along the path, here is the Queen of Swords. I feel like it's really her meeting herself. Her true self. And that could be in the expression of a person. You know how, like, you meet yourself along the way, but I'm also hearing the saying, wherever you go, there you are. So as she moves on to another lick or another life or another, another experience, I feel like there's going to be an energy that stops her in her tracks. The only thing that's interesting to me is that the Queen of Swords is looking the opposite way. So maybe it's her stepping up to a lick that she thinks is an easy one, because her back is turned, and then, but lo and behold, there's that sort of truth there. So it's like, you really want to, somebody that maybe thinks their tricks, their magic and mysticism is a match for truth, for reality, like it overpowers or supersedes reality. That's what it is, that she can use her tricks of the trade to pretty much because this could be actually the law. Yeah, so this is all of her shit catching up with her, perhaps legally, with the Queen of Swords, because that's what that energy could be, in a way, in a subtle way, that it would catch up in a way that's least expected, after all that's been encountered, all that's been incurred, all that's been gotten away with, to finally have to reckon with the reality of who you've been in a very actual and practical way. That's what it is. Like, she's been able to fraud the system to get over in some type of ways, evade her own karma, so to speak. But it seems to me that where she thinks she's least likely to be suspected or made is exactly the moment in time when she's finally going to have to answer the call of judgment in a way that you won't be able to get around, because the sword of truth is the sword of truth. So that's what that is. Okay, I got it now. So that's a good end to the story, because it's quite disturbing that anybody thinks that they could just keep getting away with abusing and manipulating people with no repercussions, and no you know what I mean, no justice. But this to me says that that's absolutely not the case. That she's been really good at what she does. Like I said, femme fatale. But we all must answer at some point in time. And she will have gotten what she was after. She got the power. You got the power, honey. You the man. You the man. You beat out all the competition. You did. But now would it be worth it to pay the price for all that you sacrificed, for all of whom you sacrificed at this point? I guess time will tell when that wheel of fortune spins in disfavor. So, ooh, that was interesting. Anyway, I hope you found something intriguing or engaging about the message. Thanks for indulging me from the beginning with a little something different. And thanks, Spirit, for opening me up for something different in this space right now. I don't know if that will continue or I'll do it as guided, but I definitely felt a different energy that translated from my pre-shuffle, thankfully into the actual message. So again, thank you so much for your attention, for listening and watching. And as always, until next time, I'll leave you with peace.